Welcome to Women's World Show with me, Clara Kumbot. Today I'll be sitting down with the beautiful Ana Santos. She is an entrepreneur and a woman who have experienced most of it. Well, we will be having a deep chat. She will lead me into her world and we will discuss bits and bits of many. Welcome to the show, Ana.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to this, and immediately we say it's Ana Santos, like, whoa, I'm gonna get into it because there's so many things to talk about. Well, you're a woman, you are actually originally from Salamanca.
That's right.
What's the journey? You know, how is your childhood like? Because you have so many stories that I really want you guys to get to know.
My childhood, I have been traveling ever since I was a little girl because my mom was a doctor and because of her job we had to travel around until she got settled. So I have been in Salamanca when I was very young, then we moved, then I came back when I was 16 for a year and then I started traveling the world. So Salamanca will always be in my heart, but I've only been there a few years of my life.
But you started off as a model, or were you doing something else before?
Right, so I was in college, in university. Right. I got a scholarship to travel to Ireland.
Okay.
So I studied psychology there, and that's when my modeling career started. So
interesting.
I was doing
psychology and a model.
I know. It has nothing to do. Actually, I always studied psychology because I wanted to know more about people's mind, but I knew I would never be a psychologist because I take all the problems home, so I wouldn't have a life.
Yes.
So that was just more because I wanted to study and I wanted to study something that was interesting, but not because I wanted to be a psychologist.
But where did the part of modeling came in? Because you also love photography.
Yes.
Does it have
I've
anything
always loved fashion, and two things happened. Once in Ireland, I got scouted from an agency there, so I started a little bit, and then also once in Marbella I also got scouted by someone else here, a lady that will always be close to my heart, her and her family, because thanks to them I started traveling to Paris to do fashion there as well. So
and you have modeled actually for big brands like Shoppers and all of that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Sephora and Maybelline, and
I think we have some pictures actually, which I'm sure will be overlaid. So
amazing.
It would be really nice to, you know, I've seen some of your pictures, like the one that we have here. What's the menu about? It's really
this is actually it's a bit of a different menu because it's a magazine.
Yes,
at the same time.
Yeah.
So this happened during our first lockdown in Marbella, and we were at home and I couldn't stay still, so I said to my husband, I have to design a new menu, and I want it to be a magazine, and we started developing this with the team. And inside the magazine you can find obviously our menu, but also our story of Rosas and our favorite places in Marbella, like other restaurants and shops and beauty places, and you know, just a bit of an insight about us and our Rosas.
Well, I'm going to get into that in your business side, but I want to know, what's the challenge you faced during your modeling days, and have you stopped totally now?
Actually, I think when you are a model and a woman, you face a few challenges, and one of them is the fact everybody thinks if you are a model you're stupid and you don't think, and you are driven by luxury items and money, and you don't care about anything else. And I think that's just such a cliche that is not necessarily true. I mean, I have 2 degrees, I have done fashion for many, many years.
Obviously,
and
you own so many businesses.
Stupid, you know, so this is one thing that people still, and actually it's sad because sometimes when people ask me, what did you do before? I'm always hesitating to say, I was a model, because automatically it's like, haha, she's stupid. You know, she's just the face of Rosas, but she actually doesn't work. That's what many people think. And it's frustrating, and actually I'm very lucky because I have an amazing husband who's always like, well, let me tell you who she is and what she's done and how much she's achieved and everything. But that was one of the struggles, to people think that you're just a piece of meat that puts on clothes and goes and takes pictures, and that it actually people think it's an easy thing, you know. Like when I remember when I was coming home after a long shoot, and some of my friends were like, "Why are you tired? Like all you do is just sit there and take photos." So I took one of my friends with me on a shoot once. It was a 3-day shoot, and I was up at 4 in the morning to get my hair and makeup done, and we would finish around 8 p.m. The first day she came with me. The second day she was like, "I'm done. Like, how can you do it? It's so tiring. You get up so early." And I was like, "And you're not even doing anything.
You're not doing
While I'm shooting, you're just sitting there watching." So yeah. It's harder
but
than
you
it
stopped,
looks.
yes. You stopped at the end of the day. So
yes,
let's just say you've traveled around really, your lifetime
it's been
more
amazing.
or less. And
I
you still do.
it.
You and your husband, you travel a lot.
We travel a lot.
Yes, but where would you say is your favorite place that you visited so far?
Cape Town.
Cape Town in South Africa.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's my favorite place.
Interesting. That's really interesting to know.
Yes.
Well, I would like to know more, and we'll deeper, but right after this break. Welcome back again. If you're just tuning in, my guest today is Ana Santos, who is an entrepreneur, and we have been really discussing bits and bits of all her life, more or less, not all, but she has really been giving us juicy parts of her life, and it has really been interesting. Before the break, I asked you where have been like the most visited country, and you said Cape Town in South Africa.
Yes.
Why?
I love South Africa.
Of course I do. Me too.
And Cape Town is
I'm from
very,
Nigeria,
very
but I
special.
love South Africa. Yeah.
Yes, South Africa is amazing.
Yeah.
I went there for the first time because one of my best friends, she's South African.
Oh, really?
And once she said to me, "I'm going to South Africa." She goes back and forth, and she was like, "Would you like to come with me?" And I was like, "Of course I would." I was like, "What kind of question is that?" I was like, "Of course I would." So I went to Johannesburg with her.
Oh,
and when I was there, I looked for a modeling agency.
Yeah.
And so I found a modeling agency in Cape Town, and we spoke, and they flew me over from Johannesburg. And that's how it started, and I fell in love with the place.
Yeah, Cape Town is beautiful.
Just,
Johannesburg is also kind of nice as well.
It's just different. I love it. I love people, and just, it has a soul. When I was in South Africa, I was one more. You know, I remember when we landed in Cape Town, and I had to go to the agency, and they were like, "Right, this is your list of things that you cannot do." Basically, it was everything. You cannot be on your own. You cannot do this. You cannot. You cannot. You have a driver. You have the. After 3 days, I called the agency. I said, "I don't want the driver. This is insane." I was like, "This guy is following me everywhere," and they were like, "Yes, he's there to protect you." And I was like, "To protect me from what?" I was like, "I don't need the driver. You can keep the driver."
Oh, nice.
And they were like, "Well, then you cannot leave the house." I was like, "This is ridiculous."
I like the way you said it, really nice. But you've done all of these and then ended up in Marbella.
Yes.
Why is that?
Marbella, we used to come on holidays here when I was younger, and when I was in Ireland, it was always raining. So I said to my sister, because my sister moved to Ireland with me, and at one point I said to her, "If tomorrow is raining in this country, we're packing our bags and we're moving to Marbella." And my sister was like, "Okay." So the day after, I was like, open the windows, I was like, "It's raining, I'm done."
Are you really?
I am done. It's 7 years here on and off traveling, but I was like, I cannot deal with this weather anymore.
You are also hustling and bustling here. Talking about bustling, you still have this beautiful place that we are in, Rosas. Why did you start this beautiful concept that you have here? How and why?
So we actually, this concept was meant to be for a luxury hotel in Marbella.
Right.
So I started creating this concept with my husband for another place, and then when it came to the final negotiations, let's just say we didn't agree on how I visualized the concept and how they visualized it.
Right.
So we set apart, and that same day, my husband said to me, "This is too close to your heart to let go. So we will do this ourselves." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yes." And I said, "I already have a place in mind." He said, "Where?" I said, "Drive to Playas del Duque." I said, "I don't even know if this place is for rent." So that week, I had the keys for Rosas.
Oh my God.
And I had the builders here.
Oh, see, I got goosebumps.
And we actually created Rosas from scratch because there was nothing here before.
Yeah, really
there was
nice.
Nothing.
Really, really beautiful.
In 9 weeks, while we were preparing our wedding.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's also okay. Did you open it at the same time?
And opened Rosas in the same week.
Oh my God, this is nice. Yes, perfect. And now, how old is Rosas?
2.5 years.
You know, talking about you and your husband and your work, how do you balance this? Because obviously, as a working woman, to balance, I'm married, so I know to work and have whole family. How do you do all of that? How do you balance it and prioritize?
It's easy in the way that Bali and I discuss business, and when we don't agree on something, it doesn't affect our personal life.
Right.
We separate it very well. I don't know how we do it, but we just say, okay, there's no reason to be upset about this. This has got to do with the business. Are we going to have a fight about a business? No. So we just move on.
Okay. Great.
But balancing sometimes is hard because it's our own businesses, so you don't really get to switch off. Like when my sister is around with us, she says we live in a constant meeting. She said you're on a constant conference call.
Yeah.
Like you guys are all the time talking about business, but it drives us. I don't mind it. And how we disconnect is every morning we get up really early and we take a walk together without a phone with Simba. So we walk, the two of us, and we talk and we just
more intimate things.
And then we get back home and then it's like, okay, shower time, and I get ready.
You switch over to the entrepreneur.
But then we come back in the evenings and we cook and we have fun and we eat and we watch a movie.
Yeah.
That's our dream, like get home early and
just
watch movies. Home is our safe area, like I would say. Yes.
Perfect. Yes. But you also ventured into a new business, which is Be Immune. I want to know more about that, but maybe we'll continue that right after this break. Welcome back again. It has really been an interesting one with Ana Santos. I was asking you about Be Immune, one of your new ventures, one of your numerous new ventures. So tell us about it.
Be Immune, again, this is something that we created during lockdown.
Right.
Because I was tired of listening to the news and everything was just negative and how you were going to get infected and how you were going to... So I was like, why are they not telling us how to protect ourselves naturally?
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do to boost your immune system with your food, exercising, being outdoors, etc. So with my mom, who's a doctor, we started researching more into natural ingredients that help you boost your immune system and protect yourself. I mean, this ingredient is nothing new. This has been there for centuries. I mean, turmeric has been used by Indian people for how many years, you know? So we just put all these ingredients together, turmeric and ginger, collagen, vitamin D and vitamin B. We developed this formula that it comes into like a shot that you can take on a daily basis, and it's 100% natural.
Amazing.
And it's got honey, which it has been proven to be sometimes when it comes to respiratory problems, it could be even better than certain antibiotics.
Right.
So that's one of our key ingredients, and since I always try to link it to nature and how we can help the planet, I thought if we're going to be using honey, we have to do something for the bees.
Yeah.
And hence the name Be Immune.
Yes.
And we collaborate with bee charities around the world.
Really?
Yes. So we donate part of our profits to bee charities.
Wow.
That's one thing. And then that's what we do for the planet. But also in each pack, we include a packet of seeds that people can plant in their gardens or in their windows, wherever they are. so that bees can also go and pollinate there. And
oh, that's really thoughtful.
Because I don't think people understand how important bees are for the planet.
Yeah. We get at least and, so many things from it, and at the same time this beautiful honey that we get. So.
Exactly, and we should do our best to protect them because they are one of the most important animals in the planet to keep our beautiful planet going.
Like I said, you're so natural, you're so like relatable, so warm and very real, honestly.
Thank
so you. Really doing, I know you do a lot of philanthropic work as well with dogs and
yes.
And with you have your Simba running around here.
Yeah, Simba thinks that Rosas is also his house, so he's just around here with us.
Yeah, it's really nice. So I know you do a lot of all of that, but then talking about quarantine and corona, you travel a lot, you and your husband, and all of a sudden you're actually confined in one space. How did you guys manage to get through it?
Personally, for me, the first 2 weeks were quite stressful because we are used to having such a go routine and non-stop and traveling and working. And so the first 2 weeks I was like, what's going on here? What do you mean I cannot leave my house? I have to travel, I have an event, I have this, I have that. I said, this is crazy. So the first 2 weeks, they were very hard. I was nervous, I was like, what's going to happen with the business? And then when I thought, this is going to carry on, I need to chill. I said, certain things are not going to happen anymore. Like the next, because we had April Formula 1 in Vietnam coming up. And I said, it's going to be cancelled. So once I started acknowledging that certain things were going to be cancelled, like our Formula 1 in Vietnam, and then we had Monaco and all, I said, that's not going to happen. So we might as well dedicate our time and effort into things that we can do from home. So that's when we decided Be Immune and the Menu magazine, and I used that time to look after myself better. So I slept like never before.
Nice, okay.
And it was time to, just think about other things that sometimes you don't realize, and that at the end of the day they are your priority, like our health and our well-being. And
what would you think, like your advice to a young lady or young woman out there, wanting to explore modeling, for example, modeling industry or becoming an entrepreneur? What would be your advice to her?
I would say, don't give up, but educate yourself. And I don't mean that by, you have to necessarily go to university or whatever. No. But
be enlightened,
do your research. Educate yourself when it comes to life and your whatever it is that you want to do, be the best at it, or at least try to be. So it's, when people say, I want to be something, but they don't actually put the effort to know more or to become better at that. It's hard. And I would say don't give up and don't listen to people, because sometimes the only thing people say to you, you're crazy, don't do that, it's not going to work, what are you doing? And if you listen to people, you get lost. So just, if your heart is telling you it's the right thing and you feel it's the right thing, focus.
And do it.
Focus, and keep going. Because I don't know how many times people have told me, you're crazy. I was crazy since I was a little girl, because when I asked for my scholarship, I was 17. And except my parents, because they have always been supportive.
Right.
Everybody else in my family, you're crazy. How are you going to travel? You're this, you're da 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 da. Then when I was traveling, you're crazy. I'm moving to South Africa, you're crazy. I'm doing this, you're crazy. I'm opening Rosas Cafe, you're crazy. Everything was, I am marrying an Indian guy who, you're crazy. He's going to, the people were so confused. They were like, he's going to do this to you, he's going to, and I was like, oh my God.
Start the culture thing, start coming in.
Educate yourself. It's.
How did you even, I want to ask you this question before I let you go, because it would be crazy if I don't ask you. Crazy the word. How did you meet your husband, or how did you even get to marry your husband? Because you guys are, I think, fun couple, doing all these crazy things. So how is it like?
We met in Marbella, 11 years ago.
The Magic City.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
But it was not even like a meeting. Me and my friends, we used to hang around the port, and I used to see him, and obviously when you look at him, he's not someone you forget, because he stands out.
Yeah.
So the time went by, and I moved to Dubai for modeling. The same night I landed in Dubai and I went out to dinner, I met him. And I was like, this guy, he's following me. I was like, what is wrong with him? And then we had friends in common.
Right.
And Pali was doing one of his first ever Formula Ones in Abu Dhabi. And he said, would you work with me? Like, can you help me organize my bookings and my reservations?
Nice.
And I was like, should I not? I said, yes, of course, I will help you.
Yeah.
Then from Dubai, then I moved to Milan. Then,
interesting.
Yes, with modeling. So I was in Milan for a while modeling, and we started talking on BBM back then.
Yeah.
So we were talking on BBM, and he was like, are you going to be in Marbella for the summer? And I was like, well, I'm in Milan, I don't know. And so when I came back, we went to the opening of a place, separate, obviously. I was with my friends, he was with his friends. And that day, we started talking, because obviously we went to say hello to each other.
Anyways, yes.
And that was it. We never stopped talking, ever. Because I don't know, I found that day when we spoke, I spoke to real Bali, not the image of the company and the events. And I spoke to him and I was like, he was something else to what he puts out there to be. His profile and his image,
it's not the
it was
same,
totally different to who he was. And I was so impressed by how he actually was, that we just kept talking, then we started.
And now you are
dating
2 years and a half.
And now we've been married 2.5 years.
Years.
We've been together 6 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys really, again, you're a beautiful woman, beautiful soul, and I love having this conversation with you. It has really been an interesting one with Ana Santos. Really, really interesting. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, before I let you go, I have a present for you, which is like a tradition here in the show. Where is my present?
Oh, this is beautiful.
So this is your cup, Women's World Show cup. It's a symbol to show that you have shared a bit of you with us here in Women's World Show. This is like you have shared a piece of you in Women's World Show, and I hope you take a picture and send us, but I'm gonna let's take a quick selfie with it, because you have a perfect location, of course. Oh, okay, guys. Okay. Cheers. It's not the best one, but it works. Thank you so much for coming to Women's World Show and letting us into your home, because you just shared your heart here with us. Thank you. It's been an interesting one. I hope you enjoyed. See you next week. My name is Clara Kumba.